Hello, everyone. This is Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. Thanks for joining us here today for that Friday episode. A little bit of a sound issue at the beginning, so just so you know, that wasn't you, that was me. But regardless, we have a lot of things coming up here today on the show, so I want to just give you a couple of timestamps. So wherever you're watching, remember where you're at. Around 1:30 p.m., we're going to be talking to Nick Batts of the Oregon Broadband Office, talking about the rural and urban broadband digital divide, which is a big issue. If you're watching this show, you probably have high-speed internet. If you're not, well, you're not watching, but there are people out there who do need access to that, so that's coming up. Also at 2 p.m., we're going to be joined by Mark Nelson for the worldwide debut of the video version of the Fox 12 Oregon Weather Podcast, so that's going to be happening at 2 p.m., so remember that. But first up, we're going to be playing my interview with Megan Sinnott. She is one of the originators, one of the first people to get involved with Pedalpalooza. You've probably seen that name around. It's in its 21st year, as it says right there, and it is a celebration of the biking community in Oregon. So we're going to play that for you right now. We'll be back right afterward.
It was a community event. It was an itinerant festival that was traveling around the country. It was called Bike Summer. And they chose Portland one year to host this festival. And we had a lot of really enthusiastic volunteers 21 years ago who pulled off an incredible bike summer, and they had so much fun doing it that they decided they had to just keep on doing it. So the very next summer, they hosted Mini Bike Summer, and then they coined it Pedalpalooza the following year.
Gotcha. So Pedalpalooza was coined out of that, out of going from Bike Summer. Well, it's certainly, as I was mentioning, worldwide know that Portland has incredible biking opportunities, but what is it about Pedalpalooza? What does it do as far as bringing everybody together?
So Pedalpalooza is 3 full months of bike fun, which are social rides where anybody can show up, anybody can lead a ride, and the themes can really be anything. We've got taco rides. I'm sure we'll get into the wide range of rides that we have later. Really, just there's just a little bit of something for everybody. And so if you're not really into cycling for the exercise, or you're maybe a little scared on a bike sometimes, or you like to go slowly, there's going to be a bicycle ride for you no matter what. And I think that's really the magic in Pedalpalooza and getting people on bikes, is it's not just for exercise, and it's making bikes something other than merely a mode of transportation.
And I think that's a really great way to incorporate it into, because if somebody is a fairly novice bike rider riding around in the city, even if it is Portland where you have set up lanes, it can still be kind of an intimidating process and maybe scary for someone. And I know, like you mentioned, you have events that would help cater to that, to all skill levels. What for you makes Portland such a good place to bike?
First I just want to address what you just said, which is how Pedalpalooza can be such an incredible way to introduce people to biking in Portland. And it was really social rides that helped me get confident on the bicycle, but then also learn about the city, learn interesting neighborhoods, meet really interesting people. I wouldn't have done that if I was on the bus or sitting in my car, not in the same way. It was really back in 2001 when I moved to Portland, starting to bike ride by bike ride, crack open the wonderful world of Portland for me. So what is it about Portland that makes Portland so bike friendly? I don't know, but what's so great about Portland for Pedalpalooza is we have people who really care about the city, and we have so many people with so many talents who are willing to share their interests, and that's what Pedalpalooza is we've got people taking cyclists around to look at architecture. We have people taking groups of individuals around to see heritage trees. And because either they're an expert or because they're so passionate about it that they do the research and then want to share that information with others. And so I think that's what's so great about Portland. One is we have such a spectacular city to explore, and we have people who are here because they want to be here and because they love it.
I think just all of that is amazing, but something else you just mentioned there as far as social rides, and that is a great way to, one, get to know the city, get to know, your different bike trails, but also get to meet some other people, maybe with some same interests, or find out something cool to go check out. That is something I would imagine would be really appealing for anybody out there who may think, I'm on my own, or they just moved here, or maybe they don't have a friend group to go biking with. It's probably a great way to meet some other people, I would imagine.
Yeah, in fact, I'm co-leading a bike ride called the New to Portland Ride. And I'm not new to Portland, but my co-leader, Rachel, is brand new to Portland. She's never even experienced Pedalpalooza yet, but she does like to bike, and she's an experienced cyclist, and she's really excited to use this as an opportunity to get to know the city and to meet other people who are new to Portland. And so we'll have name tags where people can say when they moved here and where they moved here from, and that instead of their name, and then people can approach each other and say, hey, I moved here in June of last year too, or I'm also from the Midwest, nice to meet you. So yeah.
What is the first place you take people? Because I've had this question come up to me before. If somebody's visiting town and they want to go on a bike ride and it's their first time in Portland, I have my go-to spot, but I'm wondering what yours is.
Oh, now I need to know what yours is. Okay, what is my go-to spot?
Yeah.
That's kind of a trick question, or maybe a wasted question on me, because I don't drive. We do have a car in my family, but I'm not a driver. So if you're going to explore the city with me, it's going to be on two wheels, much to the chagrin of my family, I'm sure.
Oh, but I mean, what trail or where do you take them on your bike?
I know, but I mean,
oh, that's it.
Where do you keep people in your car, Greg?
That's true. Very true.
I mean, we go to the corner store, we go to restaurants. Those are the mundane places that we go.
Yeah. I always take them down to the spring water just because I think that's such a good first ride.
Aren't we fortunate to have that here in Portland? Yeah. There's a whole circuit you can do. Spring water, down and around, and then up on the waterfront. It's really spectacular. That's a great option, yes. But there's really through the neighborhoods, there's so many neighborhood greenways with those sharrows, the bikes with the arrows, that make it so you can wayfind well, and that the streets are calmed, and drivers understand that they'll be discovering cyclists on that route. And so it's just an easier route for cyclists. And so if I'm going to take family or friends who are visiting from out of town around, I'll take them on those neighborhood greenways. And then, if we really had time and it was a gorgeous day like it is today, I'd probably take them to the bluffs, or riding along Willamette. I don't know.
The bottom line is there's a lot of options. There's a lot of options to go to.
Endlessly. I mean, it's such an easy city to bike in. Biking to the coffee shop is fun. So it doesn't have to be biking for biking's sake. The bike can just be the joyous mode of transportation from point A to point B.
Well, let's talk more about Pedalpalooza. So going back to that, in just this 3 months of all kinds of different events, how do these events get organized?
Well, I'm the behind-the-scene organizer, so I do the promotion. I get people excited about the festival coming. I, get the poster made and the shirts and the pennants and all that kind of stuff. But all the rest of the work, all the ride organizing, happens by volunteers who are simply community members who are interested in organizing a bike ride. Last year we had over 400 different ride leaders. So it's Portland. Portland's who's putting this on.
Well, I think that's great, that people can come up with something or have a concept of like, hey, this would be a great bike ride, and here's something we can put in there. And you have this all scheduled out so you can take a look at it on the website and going through all these events. What are some of the biggest events that happen during Pedalpalooza?
The kickoff ride that happened yesterday is always one of the largest. And then, of course, the World Naked Bike Ride, which everybody likes to talk about. And Loud and Lit is another one of the larger rides. But, larger rides have their place, but the real joy is in the smaller rides. We have rides that are only a few people show up. We have some rides that are more like in the, 10, 20, 30 range, and then those mid-range rides. And so you can kind of pick and choose. If a large group isn't your jam, you don't have to go on one of the bigger rides that your friends have told you about. There's a lot of really interesting smaller rides happening.
Well, and for people who want to get involved too, and maybe come up with rides or join some of these, like what's the best way for them to go about that?
It's so easy. You just head to the calendar, which is at shifttobikes.org, and you find the link for posting your ride. To get started, you really just need to know where the ride's going to be, when and at what time, what day and what time. But even if you don't know the start where you want to kick off from, when you post the ride, that's fine too. You can go back in and edit. So just like finding a day and time and a theme, getting your ride up on the calendar, and then you can start to do the work to make it what you want it to be. But yeah, Pedalpalooza has just kicked off. Last year there was over 800 rides, nearly 900 different bicycle rides throughout the summer. This year we've got about 500 rides on the calendar, but people can add rides at any moment. So if there are individuals out there who are interested in leading a ride, it's free and it's easy to post your ride. And if you put the energy and effort in to make a little flyer or put some, good information in your ride description, and then share it with me, Pedalpalooza PDX on Instagram, then I'll do everything that I can to help promote those rides and get as many individuals as we can out to your event.
Well, what a fun way to get to see the city, to get to meet some other people and share maybe something that you really enjoy and have somebody else take part in it too. I mean, it sounds like a lot of fun. I'm definitely going to be going through the calendar and picking out some rides myself that I want to go on. I don't know if I'm ready to lead one, but I'll go on someone else's ride. But Megan, thank you very much for taking some time. I'm sure it's a lot of work right now, especially kicking off, but you took some time here to join us today. Really appreciate it. Any parting words for someone who's maybe a little bit hesitant to join or to join a ride?
Just go look at the calendar, and I think that'll be enough to convince you. This weekend alone, we've got Lewis Elementary is having a Kids Pride Parade, and nice. On Sunday, there's an Asian Snacks and Friendship Ride, where somebody's going to take you around to different parts of the city to enjoy different Asian snacks, and then you have the chance to make friends. And if you don't like making friends, you can just eat snacks. So really, it's kind of a win-win.
It's a win-win, definitely. I'm all for the snacks and friends, but snacks for sure. All right, well, Megan, thank you very much. Appreciate you being here with us today.
Thank you so much, Greg.
All right, there we go. Talking about Pedalpalooza, so you can check out all of that right now on their website. There's a ton of events that you can take part in. So here's something you can take part in with us today. So this is Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. It's Friday, and coming up around 1:30. So wherever you're watching us, just make a note to come right back here around 1:30. We're going to be playing our interview with the Oregon Broadband Office, talking about broadband issues. There's a lot of places that don't have internet, and a lot of people need access to that, and they're talking about how they're tackling those issues. Also at 2 p.m., the one and only Mark Nelson will be joining us to debut the video version of the long-running Fox 12 Now weather podcast. We've got it on video now. It's going to be playing right here, so make sure you make note of that to come right back here. And download the apps, watch on YouTube. We'll be back here in just a few minutes. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.